Right now at noon, President Trump addresses the nation. We'll have more on his first public remarks since Iran attack on our troops. And another headliner at the world's largest music festival has been announced. We'll tell you what pop star will be coming to Milwaukee for Summerfest.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for joining us. President Trump is responding to an Iranian missile attack on U.S. military forces. Skylar Henry has more details from the White House.
President Trump spoke to the nation about the ongoing conflict with Iran.
As we continue to evaluate options in response to Iranian aggression, the United States will immediately impose additional punishing economic sanctions on the Iranian regime.
Iran launched more than 24 ballistic missiles at Iraqi air bases hosting the U.S. military.
The American people should be extremely grateful and happy. No Americans were harmed in last night's attack by the Iranian regime.
In Iran, crowds chanted, "Death to America," while the country's supreme leader called the attack a slap in the face. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei says the missile strike was a response to the U.S. killing of a top Iranian general.
They try to introduce such a man as a terrorist. These are unfair, unjust Americans, liars.
The Ayatollah says Iran wants the U.S. out of the Middle East, but stops short of calling for more attacks.
Democratic lawmakers say they are still considering a resolution to limit President Trump's ability to wage war with Iran.
The fact that they use weapons that we could detect and give enough leeway time for our men and women to run to bunkers is a good sign. So I think the president at this point should take that as an opportunity to de-escalate and potentially, keep us out of war.
Administration officials are back on Capitol Hill today, giving lawmakers classified briefings on Iran. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Within hours of the Iranian missile strike, the FAA barred U.S. carriers from flying in airspace of Iran, the Gulf of Oman, and the waters between Iran and Saudi Arabia, citing heightened military activities. Let's head over to the Weather Center now. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at our first alert forecast. A little chilly out there today.
That's right, Mark. Things were certainly chilly, and the sunshine was a little bit deceiving, but we are now starting to see a little bit more cloud cover streaming into the picture. I think we'll see more of that as we move into the afternoon as well. Hey, double digits. 13 is our temperature right now. By the time we get you towards 2 o'clock, I do think we will warm up towards 20, 22 by 4. What's going to help things warm up is that we start to get a southerly component to the winds that will be out there. Now, here's high-resolution Doppler. We're seeing a little flurry activity pass by extreme southwestern Wisconsin. I doubt that is even reaching the ground. But what we are going to be paying attention to is this system that you see over the high plains. That's going to be moving towards Wisconsin as we go through tomorrow, bringing with it a chance for rain, actually, but there are some chances for snow in the forecast. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on the weekend, and I'm going to tell you what exactly I'm watching and when, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Chris. Police say a suspect in a domestic violence incident in Beloit has been arrested after a tactical situation in Milwaukee. Beloit police say they were called to the 1200 block of Porter Avenue at 1:20 this morning, but the suspect left before officers were able to arrive. The suspect reportedly armed and made threats against law enforcement. Police say the suspect then ended up in the area of 70th and Main Streets in Milwaukee, leading to a tactical situation with police there. The suspect's name has not been released, but he is in custody. Sauk Prairie police looking to identify a man in an attempted armed robbery. Police say it happened at the Sauk Prairie Market on 3rd Street in Prairie du Sac Monday night. Officers say a man with a gray beard wearing a black jacket, green stocking cap, red gloves, gray pants, and black shoes entered the store, approached the cashier, showed a handgun, and said he was there to rob them. Police say the man didn't take any money. Anyone with information asked to contact the Sauk Prairie Police Department. Multiple crews with the Madison Fire Department responded to a structure fire at 509 Northport Drive this morning. The call came in around 9:30. One medic was dispatched to the scene, but injuries and the cause of the fire are unknown. A truck driver has been charged with vehicular homicide and other crimes following an Interstate 80 collision in Nebraska that killed a Madison woman. Court records say Peterson Black of Taylorsville, Utah, had been under the influence of alcohol Sunday while driving west on I-80. Authorities say Black lost control of his truck and it crossed onto the eastbound lanes where a small sport utility vehicle went under the tank trailer that he was hauling. The crash killed 72-year-old Mary Niedermeyer and injured her husband, William. As tensions rise in the Middle East, tragedy struck a passenger plane leaving Tehran. It crashed shortly after takeoff, killing all 176 people on board. The cause of the crash still unknown, despite initial reports of a mechanical failure. The airline says the Boeing 737 was just 3 years old and passed an inspection just 2 days ago. The crash happened just hours after Iran launched an attack on Iraqi bases housing U.S. soldiers. The black boxes from the plane have been recovered, but Iran will lead the investigation and says it will not give Boeing access to them. A day after Puerto Rico's most powerful earthquake in more than a century, hundreds are homeless, and more than 500,000 people are without power. The 6.4 magnitude quake was the strongest in a century and killed one person. One woman said her family had just finished fixing the damage to their home that was caused by Hurricane Maria 2.5 years ago. Now they'll be forced to repair the home again.
Really, we don't have no place to stay because our house collapsed.
Your house collapsed?
Yeah, it went to the side. I lost everything.
These earthquakes will continue for a week, maybe more. Scientists say Puerto Rico sits in a complicated plate boundary. What is happening is expected, and it is natural, and it'll take a while for the Earth to simply settle down. Firefighters are continuing to fight the brush fires in Australia. More than 100 fires have scorched 18 million acres of land, razing homes, and the number of animals impacted could be as high as 1 billion. Many celebrities have pledged to donate money to those affected by the brush fires. Elton John says he'll donate $1 million. Actor Chris Hemsworth says that he's pledging $1 million to fight the fires. And metal band Metallica is promising to donate $750,000. Well, Summerfest has announced another headliner to its festival. Halsey will play at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater on July 3rd. Other headliners for the festival include Justin Bieber, Ozzy Osbourne, and Marilyn Manson. During the festival, the spotlight shines on over 800 acts, over 1,000 performances, 12 stages, delectable food and beverages, and interactive activities. The full headliner announcement will be made sometime in the spring of this year. Tickets go on sale Friday, January 17th at 10 o'clock in the morning. And the Milwaukee Brewers are continuing to make moves in the offseason. Today, the crew announced that manager Craig Counsell has been signed to a 3-year contract extension through the 2023 season. Counsell led the Brewers to back-to-back playoff appearances in 2018 and 2019. And there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. I'm next. We'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
It's the king of rock and roll's birthday, so crank up your favorite Elvis tunes. We're having a party here in the kitchen. Elvis fans, you already know what today is. It's his birthday. Can you believe that the king of rock and roll would have been 85 years old today? And to celebrate, instead of making a cake with his favorites, you know, peanut butter, bacon, and bananas, we're making one that was near and dear to him, a whipping cream pound cake. It's so good that after just one bite, it'll have you all shook up. To make it, all we do is beat together some butter and sugar until it's creamy. Then we add our eggs. The key here is to add them one at a time. Some flour goes in next, and once it's mixed, we add some heavy cream, followed by the rest of the flour and a little bit of vanilla. Once the batter's smooth, we spoon it into a bun pan. Now this goes into, get this, a cold oven that's not preheated. Then we set the temperature to 350 degrees and bake it until the center sets up. Sure, you can serve this topped with some powdered sugar, which makes it birthday special. Or you can take it over the top and drizzle each slice with our homemade whipped cream glaze. The recipe for what we call Elvis's whipping cream pound cake is on our website, along with a few of his other favorite recipes. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a love me tender way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, a chilly start to your Wednesday morning. Meteorologist Chris Reese will have more coming up in your first alert forecast. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call the hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. It's time now for your Money Watch report. Here's Diane King Hall.
U.S. businesses added the most workers in 8 months in December. According to ADP, private employers grew payrolls by 202,000 jobs. That was more than expected. Service providers accounted for the most growth. On the run, the embattled former chairman of Nissan gave a press conference this morning in Lebanon, defending himself following a dramatic escape late last month from Japan, reportedly in a musical equipment case. He was set to appear for trial over alleged financial misconduct. Ghosn says the allegations aren't true. Lebanese officials say he entered the country legally, and it does not have an extradition treaty with Japan. The odds of being audited by the IRS are falling. According to data from the Internal Revenue Service, the audit rate for individuals dropped below 0.5% last year. That's down from 0.9% a decade before. Critics say the decrease results in billions in lost revenue for the government. And Girl Scout cookie season is upon us. The newest Girl Scout cookie is designed to inspire. They're called Lemon Ups, and they've got motivational messages baked in. Phrases like, I am a leader, I am bold, and I am a go-getter appear on the cookies. The Girl Scouts are also rolling out new packaging this season. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Thank you, Diane. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials up 194 points, the NASDAQ up 66, and the S&P 500 gaining 20. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee out of the radio barn this week, so here are your farm numbers. Time now for the weather. Chris Reese over in the Weather Center. A chilly day today.
Things were certainly chilly. In fact, Mark, we're going to be staying cold as we move into the afternoon. But oddly enough, as cold as it is, we are looking ahead towards wind and rain as we move into Thursday. That's a sign that some warmer temperatures are on the way. Then very close eyes are on tap for the weekend. Here are temperatures right now. We still have those winds coming out of the north. We are at 13 degrees. This is after starting out at 6 earlier today. 18 at Mineral Point right now. Our friends in Janesville also coming in at 18. But then you factor in the wind, Mark, and things feel a lot cooler out there. It feels like 5 right now in Madison. 6 is what it feels like in Watertown. You go up towards Black River Falls, always a common cold spot, but even still, it feels like 0 there. We do have those winds out of the east and northeast at 5 miles per hour. That's keeping that wind chill at 5, but that N will turn to an S later on this afternoon. We'll start to see those winds become a little bit more southerly. In the meantime, plenty of sunshine out there. There's one lone area where you may see some flurries in southwestern Wisconsin. Still, the air is fairly dry, so I'm not too concerned about that at all. But what I am paying attention to is the system that's bringing some snow up towards the high plains. That area of low pressure comes our direction as we move into tonight and into tomorrow. That is where we see a chance for some showers to come our way. Let's go ahead and time things out. 3:30 this afternoon, we'll see those temperatures around 22. Notice these winds coming out of the east. The winds are going to be crucial into what happens as we move throughout the overnight hours. 11:30, our temperatures at 20. That easterly to southeasterly wind takes over. Here we are at 7 a.m. tomorrow. You're waking up to head out the door. Those temperatures are going to be close to 30, and we will continue to warm up pretty much all day long. By the time we begin to approach lunchtime, temperatures will be in the upper 30s, knocking on the door of 40. We'll top out into the mid-40s tomorrow afternoon. And notice the chances for some showers starting to show up from the west. That will push towards the south and east, bringing with it some cooler air. In fact, temperatures will be a little bit cooler as we move into your Friday. Speaking of Friday, that's when the next system comes our direction. I'm feeling a little bit more confident in a round of some light snow Friday night into your Saturday. We're looking at perhaps 1 to 3, maybe 2 to 4 inches out of that one. It should not be a big deal, but what could be a big deal is a secondary area of low pressure that develops on the backside of this. In fact, we are watching 2 different potential paths that this storm could take. If you end up with a more northerly track, we end up with heavier snow across northern Illinois, southern and southeastern Wisconsin. Right now, most of the model data does favor this outcome, but there's still some model data that does favor a more southerly track. So we're watching that northerly track for a secondary round of snow where several inches would be possible along with major travel impacts. Again, though, that southerly track, you end up without that second round. We're dry and cloudy, and there's no impacts to worry about. We still have a couple days to fine-tune the details with that one. But nonetheless, while we're still trying to figure out the exact path of that storm, we do know that there will be an impactful storm nearby as we go to the weekend around the northern side of it, and there will be a sharp northerly cutoff. So any minor adjustment to the track of this low will be a big deal. We do know colder air comes in behind that as well. Let me go ahead and show you this push of colder air that we'll start to see by the time we get you towards the end of next week. This is Thursday next week, and we begin to see some air that I believe could be some of the coldest air that we've seen around here in a very long time. In fact, we're talking temperatures below average. By next Thursday and Friday, we'll see those highs again into the low 20s. But before we get there, Mark, it is a roller coaster ride. 22 today. We double it tomorrow with the 44. We're back in the 30s on Friday, 20s on Saturday, more 30s by Sunday and Monday. We are all over the place, but I'll tell you what, it keeps the weather people sick, but also busy.
Yeah, you sound a little...
I feel fantastic, but I do not have a voice. Hattie,
you and Hattie, what's going on in
voice. I don't know. I don't know.
Staying out of the weather
some days off. Don't go back in there.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
Ahead on News 3 Now at noon, if you're looking to travel this year, there are some great discounts happening this month. We'll tell you about them after a short break. Well, the holidays are over, and if you made it to 2020 debt-free, travel should be on your mind if you want to take advantage of deep discounts. In today's Consumer Watch, Melissa Rainey has a look at the top destinations this month and why experts say your wallet will be happy as well.
Escaping the winter blues. That's what a lot of us will be doing this season.
January is a great month for travel, and that's often because there's fewer crowds and more affordable pricing.
The top 5 destinations for January show that most of us are chasing warmer temperatures. That's based on TripAdvisor flight data based on average domestic round-trip economy fares for one person. Sin City is at the top of the list. A round trip to Las Vegas in January will cost you an average of $211.
It's certainly a popular destination for New Year's Eve. And of course, people looking to kick off the year, maybe get a few extra bucks in their pocket to enjoy the casinos.
Meanwhile, 3 Florida cities also made the list: Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami. TripAdvisor says round-trip airfare to all 3 Florida destinations average under $250. Honolulu took the 5th spot in the survey, with round-trip airfare averaging about $507.
It won't be as crowded. Many folks already max out their budgets over the December holiday time frame, so you can really take advantage of the beaches and dining and everything that Honolulu has to offer.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Melissa Rainey.
Trip to Hawaii sounds pretty good, Chris, doesn't it?
I'm sure it does to some people. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed for like a decent accumulating snow event around here, but that's what we're paying attention to as we head into the weekend. No snow out there today. We are going to be seeing the clouds on the increase, though, as temperatures top out right around 22 degrees, 44. By the time we head into Thursday, we'll see some afternoon showers. More cold air moves in by Friday. Friday night into Saturday, we'll see some light snow. But then Saturday night into Sunday is a time period to really stay tuned to the forecast. We'll be watching that very closely.
All right, keep an eye on that. All right, thank you, Chris. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 4. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.